Hello, hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another episode of Breaking Out. Today is the Friday cast. We're going to be watching an awesome game, the final game submitted by Extraterrestrials JowJ. We're going to check out this last game. It is a game submitted with the intention of being as awesome as humanly possible. And that's saying something coming from someone on a team named Extraterrestrials, because he's trying really hard to be human, guys. He's trying his absolute best, so you gotta give him respect for that. So let's go ahead and introduce who exactly I'm talking about one more time. As we spawn up here in the top right-hand corner of this map, I don't even know how to pronounce this map, UNC Ladder Edition. It is going to be the red Zerg player representing Team Extraterrestrials. It is Extraterrestrials' JowJ. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner where the grass is just a little bit greener. Of course, the Zerg does want to invade this territory. It is going to be the blue Terran player representing the team Ripz's. It is Ripz's Jimmy. Jimmy is, in fact, one of JowJ's very favorite practice partners. He talked a little bit about this in that interview he did earlier on during the week on Monday. So I highly recommend you go ahead and check that out if you have not already. But it's going to be really cool because these players have played a lot together. That means that any kind of shenanigans that could happen are going to be all the more fun, because the other is just going to be like, what? Why are you doing this to me, man? Why are you doing this to me? But no shenanigans coming out quite yet. We have a hatch first coming out of JowJ and a command center first coming out of Jimmy. And I have to say, one other thing that you're definitely going to have to note about Jimmy's play is that he loves drops, okay? I mean, he is quite literally the best DJ I know because he drops the beats and he plays country music. So that's saying something, man. Have you ever seen a country musician drop the beats? Because I sure have. And it was Jimmy. I mean, doesn't Jimmy just sound like one of those country folk that would play country music? Jimmy is an awesome guy, though. Really swell guy. And what? Okay, JowJ is clearly has something in mind with this game. I'm excited to see. Why in the world is he building a hatchery out in the center of the map? Is this some sort of crazy wall-in he's going to be doing with evolution chambers and spine crawlers? Is he playing a long distance mine from multiple bases at once? I mean, he's halfway between this base and this base, so therefore he doesn't need to take a third or a fourth. He takes both of them at the same time. I don't know, but Jimmy has got to be wondering the same thing. This SCV just came in, scouted out, and is going to be like, okay, well, nothing to see over there. Just going to continue to scout around at the natural expansion. And I want to note, there is, in fact, no spawning pool down just yet. Just now going to be going down. Of course, Jimmy's SCV is going to be seeing that in response. We do have Jimmy does have that, you know, again, command center first, but following up with a barracks. And very soon, I mean, we're going to be seeing the reaction at Jimmy. What is he going to be building? He's sending out the SCV. It's going to be a factory. So he's not going to be going for that triple CC style that a lot of Terran players have been favoring. And I can't really blame him. I mean, when you see something like this, you bunker rush. Oh my god, that is beautiful. I love the thought process from Jimmy. I mean, bunker rushes are a beautiful thing. Terran players have been doing it for ages and ages, since the very beginning of Wings of Liberty in the beta, and we'll have to see how successful it's going to be. I guess you can respond the same way by pulling those drones, but the bunker does complete, and a single Marine gets in there, and a single drone does end up falling, unfortunately for JowJ. So he's going to have to try and get out a queen to defend this hatchery in the middle of nowhere. And I don't know, maybe this hatchery is just jealous that it's stranded on the side with snow. It wants to see greener fields just over this edge, just over this cliff. Maybe it wanted to try and control the Zelnaga Watchtower. I don't know, but it is taking a lot of damage. And even though Zerglings are hatching, we have 4 hatcheries able to produce Zerglings, but does he have the economy to get up these Zerglings in high enough number? I believe that he should actually be able to defend this just a-okay, as now we end up seeing those SCVs not really going to get a chance to repair much at all. A single or 1 or 2 SCVs do manage to get some repairs on, but they will be taken out, as will all these Marines. But I don't know, I guess it was kind of worth it. 200 minerals of Marines, 100 minerals for the bunker, and 2 additional SCVs. So quite a bit of an investment actually from Jimmy himself. if he does not get the available defenses to defend against this little small squadron of Zerglings. But I do want to note, no Zergling speed on the way, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for Jimmy to do too much damage, although the Widowmine actually does get a wasted shot off on just 2 Zerglings, and that does allow JowJ to do some additional pressure over here on this bunker, and now we're going to see the bunker does end up falling. Now, at the same time, we do have a 3rd command center being built over there. I'm not even sure if JowJ is actually, in fact, aware of it, but the Hellions do come out and clean up a majority of the Zerglings, and no, it doesn't look like JowJ is quite aware of it just quite yet. But more Zerglings are streaming in, trying to do a little bit more damage. They managed to pick off some of those supply depots in the wall-in, but the most important thing is that, after all of that is said, the hatchery in the center of the map, it's not in the center of the map, it's like 75% of the way down the map, maybe, or it's 25%. This would be 75% of the way down the map. If the hatchery was over here, that would be an offensive hatchery. This is a defensive hatchery on his side of the map in the middle of it. 25% of the way in, right next to the Zelnaga Tower. And this is actually a really cool thing. This creep is actually going to be ridiculous. Is that why he decided to spread it? So he could get ridiculously early creep? Oh my god, JowJ. You are a freaking genius, but hold that thought. Does he have the micro to back up his geniosity? I don't think that's a word, but a lot of drones are falling right now. We have 6 drone kills already. That is, of course, with 1 or 2 of those drones falling to that early bunker pressure. I believe it was just 1. But still, these 3 Hellions are still alive. The thing is, they cannot deny the creep spread. Yeah, they can go ahead and use up one of those scans, but this hatchery is not going to go down. That means that he's going to have to deny creep on multiple fronts. He's going to deny creep over here, have to deny creep over here from this queen, as well as this creep tumor. I mean, there are just too many locations. These Hellions are not going to be able to do their job over there, so they're going to have to settle for trying to do some drone damage. But honestly, they're doing a pretty good job. Jimmy, really, really great control in this game. And oh my god, an evolution chamber wall-in coming down. I'm curious if he's going to try and finish that off. No, doesn't seem like he's going to need to, as we do end up seeing a ton of these slow Zerglings. Speed is not finished researching just quite yet, but wow, managed to get a nice surround on a ton of those Hellions with that evolution chamber. And actually, I think that he just pulled a really beautiful move. I'm going to have to double check this later on, but I believe that the queen was positioned over here. He had it slightly off cue so that the Hellions would try and run up the ramp, and as he saw the Hellions move in over here, he waits till the last second and moves the queen into position, and then the Hellions bug out and go, well, I can't get around anymore. They don't realize they can still go in from this angle. So really, really awesome play from JowJ. This is definitely showcasing some of his genius in this game. And I mean, JowJ was saying, TVZ, man, ZVT, a positional game, but I didn't think he meant that low level of positioning with single queens messing with the AIs of Hellions. But I mean, there we end up seeing it being done, and again, with all this creep spread, JowJ, again, a fantastic player for getting out that creep spread. And of course, Jimmy does have some pretty good control. He still managed to keep most of these Hellions alive, which is an impressive feat considering all these struggles he's been up against. But now we end up seeing speed has been researched. The Widowmines actually not getting the good hits off. Wow, that was really surprising. Not targeting the correct Zerglings over there, and it looks like these Zerglings over here will chase down those Hellions and keep them occupied, while these Zerglings over here take out some more of those SCVs. But the SCVs do end up kind of running away. A handful of those SCVs have been killed off, but not a substantial number. Now, this little squadron of Zerglings might be able to do a little bit more damage, because really, there are only 3 Hellions over here. The Widowmines are going to be off cooldown very, very soon, but the Zerglings actually managed to get in over there right before the Hellion, or the Widowmines get off their shots, and now we end up seeing 2 more Widowmines coming down. Now the Widowmines might be able to get the big hits off. There's some big hits, but they managed to do a lot of splash damage over here to the worker count of Jimmy, and I don't even think it's actually showing, because the workers killed is not actually accurate, since those Widowmines are actually killing some of their own units, and that's actually very, very unfortunate. So we do end up seeing quite a few workers killed though, and Jimmy has been producing a lot of workers to make up for it. He's still up at 69 SCVs, powering off of those 3 bases, but at the same time, you know, JowJ has 4 bases. His macro hatch was taken very, very early on, before his spawning pool, in fact. And let's go ahead and take this moment of respite from the action to take a look at the upgrades. We have +1/+1 down on those Zerglings of JowJ against the +1/+1, but soon to be +2/+2. Just only 40 seconds left over until these Marines are going to be able to wipe the floor off of those Zerglings, who are very, very far away from those +2/+2 upgrades. So we'll have to see. Can he hit the timing? It looks like they might actually be engaging in battle right before the upgrade is going to finish. We still have 25 more seconds left over, and these Zerglings are streaming in. The Widowmines are going to actually should be getting some good shots off, but also doing a substantial amount of damage over to those Marines. Another great Widow Mine shot off, though. Gets a ton of those Zerglings, but look at this. Joe just has so many units. He's only just now starting those Mutalisks, and that is a very, very late Mutalisk transition. That just goes to show you what you can do by just powering your economy and powering and staying on Zerglings for such a long time. Burrow Banelings actually in the mix as well. Did Jimmy actually even see those Burrow? I certainly did not, so I'm kind of surprised. I'll be a little bit surprised if he did as well, as we have a lot of his burrowed Brainlings actually in some great positions. We could actually just try and bait them over here into the rocks. Is he going to be able to do it? The Marines are so close, but no, they're going to take this other path. Try and defend the third expansion. Oh my god, did the third expansion go down? Oh no. We see in the structures tab how many command centers are there. While these organs are streaming in, go ahead and take a look, because I am having some trouble finding it. We have two orbital commands, and the burrowed Banelings actually managed to get some big hits off over there, and some pretty decent hits over there from those Banelings as well. Two more burrowed Banelings still remain, and continuously streaming additional units across the map. More and more Zerglings are coming in. We have 32 more Zerglings in production. The SCVs are pulled off the line. Will Jimmy fall over here? He's losing more and more SCVs, but he's still staying strong at 60 of them. The Medivacs are healing the SCVs, tanking the damage just a little bit longer. The Overseers are going down to the Widowmine shots, and it looks like Jimmy has been able to stabilize at the same time, going for a drop over here at the 5th expansion of JowJ, as he does actually have a 4th expansion up here in the top left-hand corner at the same time, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and have to pick up. At the same time, though, the Overseer is necessary to pick off those Widow Mines. The drop moving over into the main base. Don't think it should be able to do too much more damage. This Queen might actually end up falling. That will delay some of those larvae injects, but no, he does manage to get it back in time, and those Mutals are finally out now to do the cleanup damage. But the question is, how is Jimmy going to recover? He has the SCV count still sitting at a very decently strong count of 60 SCVs, but the main issue is he has no third command center. In fact, I don't think that he's even begun building it yet. No, still sitting on 2 and no building of that third command center just quite yet. Oh, sorry, I take it back. He does have a third command center. He's going to try and float it down over to this location, a nice fresh patch of minerals. I mean, these haven't been too heavily used, but it does split them up quite a bit, so I can't blame him too much for trying to go for that section instead. And these two Burrow Banelings, I mean, you can see, oh, he was selecting, he was considering, he was like, oh, it's 4 Marines, is it worth it? Yes! Goes for it, gets the kills off, and comes in with the remainder of the Zerglings. Some big Widow Mine shots off, though. Do manage to clean up a substantial number of the Zerglings, but the Banelings are going to be surviving and getting some pretty decent hits off as well. But look at this, a magnificent spread from Jimmy. Is it going to be enough? He is sitting on +2/+2 upgrades. He's about to finish +3 weapons, but it does not come in time. And the Mutals are just able to do so much damage over here. And now we end up seeing the big SCV losses, down 20 SCVs in comparison to the 90 drones left over for JowJ. Could this be the end of Jimmy? Jimmy, a very, very strong practice partner of extraterrestrials, is JowJ, but I think that he's coming to the end of his life. GG, well played, and we just see the end of a very magnificent game from both of these players. We saw drops going on, we saw Burrow Banelings, we saw proxy hatcheries before the spawning pool was going down. Great Widow Mine shots, and oh my god, I love that style of just slow Zerglings and getting out that early creep spread from JowJ and allowing himself to get that early economy by using the early creep spread. He uses the early creep spread to control the map, does not allow those Hellions to really shut him down and keep him contained, and by doing that, he can get by on slow Zerglings. It's such a brilliant maneuver. And, you know, he doesn't need to have that early speed research, which means he doesn't have to grab these early gas geysers to get the early speed out. He can instead just go for the slightly later spawning pool, delay those gas geysers for a little bit, use creep instead of, how many times can I repeat this? Using creep instead of Zergling speed, because he only needs to use those Zerglings defensively. Now, he did manage to pick off quite a few of those Hellions and go on the offensive with just a massive number of them, because Jimmy kind of undercommitted a little bit to defense. But Jimmy was actually in a pretty decent position regardless, because he defended quite well against that aggression. But honestly, that was an awesome game. I could not ask for a better one. Thank you so much to everyone that decided to tune in. Please go ahead and check out JowJ on his stream. I do have it linked in the chat, or if you're watching the video on YouTube, it is linked over in the annotations or comments, whatever it is below. Down in the comments, the notes for the video. You know what I'm talking about. You know you're as excited as I am. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you did enjoy it, please go ahead and subscribe to me over on youtube.com twitch.tv/FearDragon64, where all the videos will be uploaded, including this one, at around 10 o'clock Pacific every single day that we end up broadcasting this. So that's Monday through Saturday. And speaking of Monday through Saturday, today is Friday, a beautiful, beautiful day. Day9 is lying to you if he tells you Monday is the best day of the week. I mean, Monday is an awesome day because we get Fun Day Monday and we get an interview with an awesome up-and-coming player from the North American scene right after it. But tomorrow is going to be Saturday, and Saturday is one of my favorite days of the week because it's a freaking weekend, and we get to sit back, kick it, and have some fun. Saturday is the true fun day. It's not Fun Day Monday. So we're going to enjoy some little festivities with JowJ after he showed us some great games, and we're just going to relax. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that over on twitch.tv/FearDragon64. You can go ahead and follow me there to get the notification of when we go live, and 9 o'clock Pacific. Hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow.